Skate 2 was one of those life-changing games from my childhood. You know the ones I'm talking about, the first time that you truly discover freedom, imagination and immersion in its purest form. It was my introduction to the franchise at a high school sleepover with some mates, just playing party mode, slamming together in Hall of Meat. That sounds gay. Just playing party mode, slamming in Hall of Meat, warring into the early hours over a game of Skate, and I've got the flip phone potato footage to prove it. And if you can't decipher what's going on in this, then allow me to recreate it right now. The character has fallen off the board and is wanking around on the floor, and we call it the helicopter. Shit. Despite looking like the cover of Saw 2, man, this brings me back to a golden time from my younger years. Dude, I'm just so keen to finally be talking about this game, and that means that I get to replay it. You know, as much as I am a fan of the Pro Skater format being dumb, arcade, video game action, this is the game I always return to when I want to experience skateboarding, both as a sport as well as a creative art form, but on top of all of that, as a community, which is something that this franchise excels at. Releasing in January of 2009, only about 2 or 3 months after Skate It on the Wii, its direct competition, Tony Hawk, wouldn't release his new ride experiment for another 10 months, so for 2009, and I was 13 at the time, and it was all about Skate 2. The game opens with another incredible intro video of a prison scene? Damn, what did I miss? We won the X Games and skateboarding fame. The city was destroyed in an extinction event as a new skater rose up through the ranks. Now our original character from the first game is finally being released from prison. Man, that's heavy. Did he destroy the city? Another incredible intro though. Love the sense of humour of these games, and you know how The Simpsons is always predicting things? Well, Skate 2 predicted Compton asked Terry Kennedy in The Slammer. Nice one. Our boy Redder, the voice in our head, is no longer a figment of our imagination. He's here to bail us out and get right back into skating the new San Vanalona. After being rebuilt by Mongo Corp and made hostile towards the skating community, it's up to our little group of renegades to take it back. But before you can run, you've got to learn to walk, and already out of the gate, this game is taking another large step, quite literally, into its next evolution. Tony Hawk first stepped off the board in 2003 with Underground, and it really opened the doors to a lot of new ways to play those games. Skate isn't quite as profound with its newfound footing, but for what it is, it gets the job done. You can walk up stairs, jump across gaps, climb up onto things. Sometimes it's a little bit wonky to say the least. The real winner though is the new ability to grab and shift objects within the environment, whether it be something blocking your path, ramps to assist with bigger landings, and rails to build and create your own cool skate spots. More on that later. It doesn't take long before we're back out into the full expanse of the world, which has been significantly more fleshed out. We've got schools, streets, the sprawling downtown area, beachside villages, historical districts, plenty of hills to bomb, and even a rural mountain range prime for shredding it up Death Race style or going big with incredible moves. In fact, it was our character breaking into Skate the Dam that got our boy locked up in the first place. But look, hold up, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. All of that crazy video game stuff is awesome, but the core of the Skate experience is that down-to-earth, relaxing vibe of showcasing a skater's dedication to becoming the best in the world. And I think that's where the game continues to outdo pretty much everything that Pro Skater had achieved up until this point. Sure, there were a few rags to riches storylines in those games, but they were all set off in fantasy land, whereas Skate 2 goes that extra step to strive for the most realistic and grounded experience on the market, showcasing not only the sport, but the community as a whole in the most relatable manner possible. There are so many great advancements on our arsenal of tricks in this game. Everything from hand plants, foot plants, hippie jumps. I absolutely love incorporating all of them to create some funky tech lines. Skitching is also a handy addition if you need to make quick progress through the map, but it's the addition of more real-world figures such as Atiba Jefferson, one of the greatest skate photographers of all time, and the return of Rob Jurek and Danny Way as the primary figureheads of the career mode, which establishes that legitimacy to the experience. Along with each of their narratives, we've also got an abundance of races to complete, contests to compete in, pro skaters to impress, and so many spots to kill. It's just insane. I mean, you can literally treasure hunt this city top to bottom and still find so many different things to do. It's just ridiculous. But adding on to that community sense is the background story of a group of skaters attempting to take their city back, feeding into that long-time, real-world rivalry of authority on the streets in the skating world. I mean, it's a tale as old as time, but the game captures it so well. Calling up friends to help you drain swimming pools to create new spots is a lot of fun, and if security is being a problem, you can always count on Big Black to keep the heat off of you. Ah, mad respect. Rest in peace, big dude. And Mikey is always on speed dial whenever you find a public space with those grind stopper things. And fuck these things, by the way. They're hostile as fuck, not only towards skaters trying to express themselves through a creative outlet, but more so shit like this blocks the homeless from shelter and safety. It even prevents elderly or disabled pedestrians from accessing suitable seating. Man, I fucking hate these things, so fight the good fight, Mikey, and wreck that shit up if you see it. Anyway, it's all about these little details which really ground the experience in reality and represents what skating is about, making it work no matter the environment. And I've got to say, this map is peak game design. I love everything about it. I mean, firstly, this game looks great, and it still holds up all of these years later, which is uncommon for games of this era. But the level of detail here far outshines the original game, and expanding to a greater variety of locations forces the player to hone their skills in a multitude of scenarios. You can still find a few of the classic spots from the first game hidden away, as this is supposed to be the same city after all, but the real pleasure for me comes from finding new places to lay down some fat-ass combos and smash the competition. So with all these different career paths and optional missions, you'll be covering the entire map for days, skating your dedicated little heart out, snapping cover photos and filming radical sessions. The replay editing features have been heavily revamped this time around. We didn't have a whole lot of control over camera angles before, but now we've got a follow camera, tripod mode, slow motion replays, everything you need to highlight your greatest moments and upload them to the online skate reel, which back in the day was a lot of fun. And guess what? You can still access this to some extent and see some of your old memories. Wow, that's just mind-boggling. Like, what a trip down memory lane seeing some of these. The online community for Skate 2 back in the day was tremendous, beyond just standard multiplayer gameplay. Now that we have the ability to move objects around, growing on from the customizable areas in the Wii game Skate It, you can now build, shred, and upload your own skate spots. These have always been my favourite aspect of this game, as, my god, it was so cool to find a neat street obstacle or just build your own, set the score, and then post it online for friends or even randoms to play, and then you would end up having these mini wars with other players. It was so damn cool. Then I remember building some kind of spot around the mega ramp, and every day after school, I'd have to hop on to reclaim my spot. Even if it was only by a couple of points each time, it was such a satisfying feeling having that positive contest with other players, pushing each other to be better at the game. And if you're not good at the game, then Hall of Meat is always an alternative option. Slamming off of your board has never been more fun and approachable now that it's been expanded with its own set of goals, launching off of taller and taller structures to break records and break bones easier than ever before. There really is no limits to this game, and from moment one, the world is your oyster. You can play it however you wish. Such a level of freedom is the stuff that makes Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom so beloved among gamers. I know it's a tired example, but you know, it's an adventure and your goal is to explore, discover and innovate at your own pace. If you are looking to actually play through a career of sorts, then you can definitely take on filming challenges, different job opportunities, and strive to compete for gold, which can take you to some of the grandest stages in the game, but I don't know, there is something just really humble about sticking to the streets and just enjoying the journey rather than the destination. So I really don't have many criticisms at all. Okay. I do have one criticism. Sometimes the physics just don't fucking work. And it drives me insane! Skate has earned a reputation over the years for being kind of flimsy. And look, I'll get into that more in the next video. But for the most part, it's still hilarious fun when this stuff occurs. What isn't fun is again when the incredibly precise controls don't work to assist you for some of the more troublesome objectives. The main one that comes to mind is the slam dunk photo for Thrasher. Fuck this challenge. You need to do a hand plant off the backboard of this basketball hoop, so obviously the only way to do that is by dragging a ramp underneath. But by God, no matter how many attempts, I just cannot get it. You hit the backboard, you miss the thing entirely, the objects move out of place, pedestrians get in the way, and even when I think I've got it perfect, he just decides not to trick off the backboard. I can hand plant the ramp just fine, but somewhere between these two objects is this vague communication error that results in so much heartache. And then suddenly, you finally get it out of nowhere. Awesome. And the photo looks like shit. Whatever, I don't care. And as you continue earning sponsors and money, towards the end of your story you can begin purchasing more skate property, which is a neat addition. The Mega Park gets an extensive upgrade, and working with Rob, you can earn some coin to build the Monster Clubhouse by the sea for all of the locals to skate. Beyond that though, there isn't really much to spend your money on. It is kind of worthless, more so than in Grand Theft Auto games, as you quickly hit a tipping point where you're no longer held back by it. Maybe if we had the option to spend some of our money to drop down specific objects to help build up our spots, rather than having to resort to dragging a rail halfway across the map, then maybe that might have been a decent fix for this. The Creator Skater mode is fine, like before, though it still lacks a lot of depth that you'll find elsewhere. But look, all in all, I have nothing but soaring appreciation for this game. For what it offered to the genre within the gaming industry, the way it successfully and faithfully represented its audience, and of course, for all of the countless hours I've spent expressing myself, laughing with friends, and just enjoying the relaxing freedom that only a game like this can provide. So, Skate 2 gets a strong 8 out of 10, because holy hot damn, this is must-play stuff. Only one other skateboarding game have I ever given a score so high, and that would be Tony Hawk's Underground. Possibly a polarizing opinion, and one that is maybe a little tainted by childhood biases, I'll admit. But regardless, as much as I adore the Pro Skater franchise, Skate 2 is what I would consider the greatest skateboarding game that I have ever played, and trust me when I say, I've played a lot of them. So does that mean that we're going to start trending downhill the longer we play these games? Well, to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure. The only thing I can be sure of is that, I'll admit, I have not been a fan of Skate 3 since the day it launched. But that was a decade ago. So, look, I'm willing to give it a second chance, and I'm interested to see if my disapproval of this game is justified after all these years. But until we find out tomorrow, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and remember to share this with your friends on social media, as Skate Timber is only halfway through, and we've still got plenty of more content coming. So I'll see you all tomorrow, because I'm Square Eye Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.